Hello, hi, welcome, and thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're having a gorgeous day or night. We're going to get you a little clarity, see what would be helpful to know. We're going to start with the energy oracle, see what the overall energy is, and flow from there. This reading is timeless. Whenever it finds you, it's perfect. See what resonates, and always follow and trust that divine inner guidance because it's in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound, based in love, for the highest and greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's dive in. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. What would be helpful? What is the overall energy situation that would be beneficial to know about and have awareness on and of? That you have a masculine energy that's sitting sassy under the tree, hair all disheveled, shirt half undone, and holding a heart. It does look like this person is waiting for somebody to arrive or waiting for the right person to offer that love to. I feel like this is somebody who wants to be in a partnership, whether that is love or it could even be a business partnership. If this is a masculine energy doing something that he loves, working with someone that he loves that has the same kind of passionate energy about whatever they are working on, whether it is the partnership or a project. And I feel like there's something about this particular masculine wanting it to feel natural. You know, like it just is opening up, blossoms in natural timing, not really pushed, just kind of gentle and strong at the same time. Number 45. I feel like this person maybe has been waiting for the right opportunity. I actually feel like for quite a while, whether it's that he or she has not offered their heart in quite a while, or maybe they offered this love, but it didn't really feel natural, didn't really feel like a connection maybe at first. But I feel like if it didn't feel right, this person kind of, they're like, I'd like my heart back, please. Thanks. I'll just wait here until the right one comes along. It could also be a timing thing. Somebody was waiting for the right timing, but they knew the right one. So let's go to the tarot. Let's see what this is. Actually, I keep staring at the mystery deck. So let's maybe get a mystery message or two. This could just be a bonus message, or it could relate to this man holding a heart. Oh, it's definitely, that's why. All right, so there's definitely, I even tried to go just general with the old energy reading, and it does feel like there is the desire or the preparation for the right partnership to come in, because love keeps on slipping in for you guys. So 2 flames. Also, these could be passionate flames, spiritual, sparkly flames, but it could also be flames of creativity. When I see the 2 flames, I do think of the 2 of rods. And even though that can be passionate, I also feel like that's a really good business partnership. It is possible that this person is holding off for the right person that is both passionate with him or her, but maybe they can work really well together, start a business together, something like that. It could also be that each one supports, kind of fans the flames on each other's individual projects or individual goals or individual paths. 2 flames. All right. Could also be twin flame, divine union. That being said, let's circle back around now to something different. I was going to go to the tarot, but this one, I feel like maybe we should go deeper now. This is which one? This is the soul one, soul's lessons. I think the spirit messages. Let's get, maybe I have a soul's lessons too. So maybe we'll get both. Let's get a spirit message. What does spirit want you to know right now? Perhaps when it comes to this man, or if this is you, helpful advice from spirit. What would be helpful today? What does spirit want the collective to know and have awareness on? And what would connect to these two flames and a man holding a heart? Cleanse. So there had to be a healing first. There had to be a cleanse, perhaps, of any toxic energies. That could be people, places, things, environments, viewpoints, thought patterns. There had to be a cleanse of energy, maybe even a total retract, reevaluate and reignite that flame. It could also be where there's a situation where that flame felt like it fizzled away, but maybe it actually didn't, especially if it was an internal flame in one's soul. That doesn't fizzle away. But I am getting that balance between fire and water. Now I see a balance between masculine and feminine. Maybe it is about going with the flow or the natural rhythm or progression of a particular partnership or project you are working on. Right now, your advice from spirit, from your higher self, from source, is you need to really do some internal, like introspection, deep reflection, see where maybe you need to dive deep, or at least, stick your toe in and cleanse anything that feels like it's constricting you. I feel like there was a constricting energy. It was almost stagnating growth, or constricting maybe somebody's heart space to open up to the right person, because maybe they were only containing that energy on maybe the wrong person. So a cleanse is beautiful. Maybe for some of you, water. If you usually take a shower, and you can, maybe take a bath. I hear temperature. Maybe if you I know this is not for everybody, but maybe if you typically take a really hot shower, maybe it's even a little shockaroo and putting something on cold, like, ooh, or if you like it, like lukewarm, maybe you like heat it up a little bit. There's something about maybe the temperature of the energy changing. Maybe if something was a cold situation, something's about to heat on up for you. Or maybe if there was a certain heated situation that was that uncomfortable heat, maybe you need to chill out. I actually feel like some of you do need to breathe. I'm getting a reaction all of a sudden. So maybe if you have somebody you kind of reacted to, whether that's just you reflecting on any past situation where maybe you overly reacted, maybe it was a trigger or a button that was hit, and you can reflect now and see that if you had only waited, centered yourself, and took a couple of breaths before you said something, maybe that situation could have been different. I do feel like if some of you need to just kind of exit, take a walk, take a little break, and then come back around, maybe you have a different kind of energy for figuring something out, or how you respond. I'm getting a lot of response energy. I didn't even read this card. Cleanse your body, mind, and soul. Ooh, that's a lot. That's all the bodies are talking to you right now. And they're not just telling you, they're urging you. I do feel like this is going to start to feel like a pull. Like, you got to do something a little different. You got to cleanse some weird energies out of your life. And it's also taking some time out, taking some space, some much needed cleansing. Just as you wash your car, clean your house, tidy your office, your body also needs care and attention. It's time for some spiritual, emotional, and physical cleansing. If there's anything that you're eating and it's making you feel weird, maybe it's just, lessening how much of it you have. Maybe it's actually drinking more water. That is very beneficial. Your brain can get a little wonky if you don't have enough water in your system. We're made of water. So maybe it's even paying attention to the liquids that you put into your body. I feel like you might be doing some spring cleaning, but I feel like that cleansing energy is creating the space for the right thing that opens up your heart to come in. If there's no space for it to come in, it's going to feel really uncomfortable when it or he or she arrives. Also with this water, some of you might have some pent up or bottled in emotions, and maybe all of a sudden you really don't know why you got all teary-eyed, or why something now, so long after the fact, is something that you're actually crying about. Just don't judge yourself. Just let that cry out. You know, those salty tears are extremely cleansing. They're also like neutralizing something. It gets weird energies out there that could have been blocking you or could have been stuck in you for way too long. It is where once you let it go, it can feel better. But I'm getting that a lot of this is conscious choices. So let's continue. Let's see, I mentioned this one. So let's see what your soul's lesson right now is. What is your big soul lesson currently that would be helpful to have a conscious focus on and of? What is the current soul lesson of the collective watching this reading? Please and thank you. Current soul lesson. Perseverance. If you fall down, you get up and you try it again. If something you kept trying didn't have any results that were changing, you have to be the one to change to find a different result. This is also a total change in your mindset. You know, this is you telling yourself, yes, there's a solution. Yes, that dream can come about. Yes, you are going to take a lid off that box and make something expansive and allow more opportunities than maybe you thought in the past or currently to come in. Perseverance. I know I can do whatever I set my mind to. So if you didn't think that something could come in, you're already in the thought process that it can't come in. You're already in that lack mentality that it probably won't. So why should you bother? But you have to, in this perseverance, set your mind to not be so solid with it being in a certain time frame or in a certain even space. I didn't realize that I'd run out of room. I've been recording some of my gigs and that was hours and hours of video. So I had to make a little space. Let's continue this reading. Man holding a heart, perseverance, cleanse into flames. Let's go to the Thelema and see what messages pop through. What would be helpful to know today to be the most beneficial for the collective? Well, you got Temperance. The most beneficial thing you can do right now is to find your center. It's to, whatever I said before with the tub thing, the hot, the cold, this is finding your just right. And your just right today might be different from your just right tomorrow. Temperance is where you have divine help in a particular situation, where you need a little extra divine guidance. It's also protection for you to be with the right person, or to be at the right time, at the right place, and maybe away from certain situations that were not healthy for you. Temperance comes in where you've learned to balance, big balance. It's that combination of the divine masculine and the divine feminine and a little bit of divinity all together. It's tapping into that spiritual realm, the ether, and grounding that energy on earth. It's both perseverance and persistence and knowing when to let it go and let it flow. It's beautiful, but that's constant adjustment. You know, it's constantly being able to switch up that recipe, you know, add a little more spice, add a little more something else, a little less of this. And it's your adjustment within yourself every day, every partnership, every situation that you are in. It's not usually easy, but you get better at it. So it could also be a Sagittarius energy, 14. Why is Temperance here? Temperance has been coming out a lot for you guys. So there's definitely divine energy that's helping you bring yourself back into balance, or bring you towards a partnership where it's a balanced, equal, back and forth kind of flow. Doesn't mean every day is perfectly balanced. It's constant adjustment. But this is somebody who maybe is flexible and adjusts with you, grows with you. Let's see. Clarify, why is Temperance here? Please and thank you. Why is Temperance here? Temperance is here, again, same message, to bring you back into balance. But now, this is bringing you back into balance in your everyday world because it's tangible and touchable. People, places, things, your schedule, you know, where you put your time, your energy, your effort. And if something was overpowering you or something was kind of throwing you off balance, because here you're not even steering something, you're just using your legs on your unicycle and you're juggling these big pentacles. So if you feel like what you're juggling is big heavy bowling balls and you're wishing, you know, you were juggling something else over there that felt light as a feather, you have to adjust how much energy you put into those different areas of your life so you feel more imbalanced. I also feel like with the Two of Pentacles, there's always that like gesture, you know, the court gesture. So there's something where the biggest message to get something back into balance is to find the spice of fun, you know, find where you feel a little more free, where you have a little more downtime, where you can feel less restricted with the old schedule, and give yourself, even if it's just small little pockets of space where you feel like the clock doesn't matter. You wish it would actually last longer, or you're just having a good time, where you're laughing and having fun, lightening up that energy instead of something always being so heavy. If everything in your life feels like it's so heavy, you need to be the one to get it back into balance. It's not up to anybody else, it's up to you. So what can you schedule in so, you know, you bring a little bit of a new energy in there that makes you feel plugged in, that warms your heart, that cleanses your body, mind, and soul. And it's usually something that if you have perseverance here, after you do that thing, you want to do it more. So you schedule in more time. It could also be that whatever you're scheduling in, whether that's hanging out with a certain person that you love, or working on a project that you love, or just an overall energy environment, whether it's just chilling on the hammock in your yard, where that energy plugs you back in. That energy is necessary and beneficial to you, because even when you go back to the thing that was a little constricting or maybe was a little heavy, or the daily duties you have to get to, your energy going into that environment is switched. Therefore, how you flow in that environment is now different. If the Two of Pentacles is upside down, it's just wobbling all over the place. You know, way too much attention in one area, and you left something on the back burner back there. It's starting to, you know, burn. Or you forgot to turn it on because you were overly focused on something over here. So that thing that you wanted to at least get cooking never got started. So it's adjustment, balance times 2. But now you're taking that third eye, you're taking that angelic, divine insight, intuition, inspiration, and grounding it to your tangible reality in the everyday things you can control to make those changes necessary to bring overall balance into your life. That's really strong. I actually like those two together. So let's see. I want to ask about the man holding the heart. Let's get some insight on who this is. And it's not a gender thing, but it's definitely somebody who, I mean, I'm getting that this is somebody who's tapping into their feminine side. They are sitting and they're allowing something to come towards them. And even with the like hair down and undone, the, you know, the shirt undone, there's something about kind of a gentle energy, intuitive, romantic, but yet that masculine energy is generally the pursuer. I do feel like if this person was kind of waiting, there's going to be a moment where he's going to like jump on up with that heart and like offer it to someone. So let's ask about the man holding a heart. I also feel like I just got an interesting message. I feel like, I mean, this could be a masculine energy that knows, you know, who his heart pitter-patters for. But I'm getting there's an inner knowing that he or she is fully aware that there's somebody else who has this deep love for him. Just gonna say him to make it, you know, cohesive here. That holds his heart with a real truth. I see like a tattoo on heart. They just know that there's a certain, maybe a soul connection, a soul contract between him and another person where it just feels, it feels different. With this divine energy here, it doesn't feel like obsession. It doesn't feel like lust. It doesn't feel like it's overindulgence or anything unhealthy. It actually feels like vibrant, unconditional, healthy freedom and love. It doesn't feel restricting because, you know, it's open. Confident. And I just heard abundant. I just saw 2 phones. I looked at 2 flames and I don't know why I saw 2 phones. So maybe it's about communication, or maybe it starts with communication. Maybe it's a phone call, you know, that takes someone to a date under that sassy tree. Let's see. Clarify the man holding a heart. What do we need to know about man holding a heart? Yeah, the Page of Cups. This is somebody who wants to ask somebody on a date. This is somebody who, even if they have a lot of experience with different relationships, or maybe a lot of experience with one long-term relationship, this is going back to where you feel like you're a kid again. It might be if this person is entering into a new relationship, or maybe with this needs to make a little room to go on some more dates. They kind of feel like a fish out of water, especially if that new person is a little different from what they're used to, or if that environment is different than they know. It's okay in the beginning to feel a little bit like the newbie, the new kid, but it's that fresh, young, falling in love kind of energy. It could be this man holding a heart has an offer. Maybe that offer is like that slippery fish and it kind of wiggled away before, and they tried to grasp something with their hand. They're like, you're not wiggling away next time. I brought my sassy goblet there and I'm gonna let you swim around in the goblet. Sometimes this is where somebody falls in love all over again. Maybe with the same person, but maybe with someone new. Sometimes this is self-love. Somebody starting different, listening to insight and intuition, because that's also that Page of Cup, where all of a sudden they hear that little inner voice, you know, on how to maybe make their way towards the right environment or the right project. It could be somebody who starts a new project and they don't know a lot about it. It could be somebody who goes into a new work environment, and even if they have all the expertise, all the experience in the world, that environment is now different. The people they're working with are different, so they still feel kind of new. It's that new kid. You know, I just thought of New Kids on the Block. You know, sometimes you have to be that new kid, but you're going to learn pretty fast because you're going from a page to a man. It could also be where somebody just has a message of love. They're going to send you a little love text. They want to ask you out on a date, but you have to have more and more experiences working up to the night. The page is just the message. The page is just the invitation. The page is just the conversation. The page is just the intro, the beginning. You have to work to the night to be in the experiences, and the more experiences you have with a certain person, maybe even for some of you, this is self-love, and this is more experiences independently, just doing things that you love. And maybe for some of you, you know, the 2 flames, somebody else coming into the mix is not really on your agenda. You gotta want to learn what it's like to be independent. You know, if you always were in a partnership where, let's say you weren't on the same page and there maybe was lack of compromise, this might be you really stepping into that balanced energy within you and figuring out how you want to write your story, how you want to paint your walls, what you would do on your free time if you didn't have to ask someone else if it was okay to go out. So for some of you, you might not want a person here. You might just want to be on your own, being your own person, finding your own balance. you know, having that perseverance energy with the things that you feel good juggling in your life. But I feel like for a lot of you, if you're not preparing maybe on a soul level for the right partnership to come in, you definitely have somebody looking at you with the Google eyes here. How you proceed that partnership, you have to trust yourself. But don't be presumptuous about who a certain person is without the experience of letting something unfold and learning who they are. Because the page has to learn more. Clarify what this message is about. Could also be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Actually, you know, with the two flames, it could also be a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries too. Tell us about this little love message. What do we have to know about the page, about a new experience? Maybe some of you have been waiting for this brand new start for a very long time. It could also be that part of this running on empty or a purposeful pause that either came into your life or happened, even if it was something you didn't wish to happen. Maybe it was divine intervention to give you a moment of pause to reflect. It could also be where somebody else had to, like, I'm actually getting an unlearning what they thought they knew to relearn who they are becoming, or what they like really want to pursue in their life, but also for some of you allow into their life. I feel like this is somebody who really is tapping into spirit. Look at how that beautiful Ace of Cups is overflowing with spiritual light. How this is a situation that is ever flowing. It's not going to be unplugged. It's a constant cleansing. It's a constant peace. It's freedom and light. Here, this is somebody who is becoming illuminated with that green in their heart chakra, but also connecting the head to the heart for that illumination to see something in a different way than they ever saw it before. That's what happens with the Hanged Man. It's that thing that once like goes on pause, break, time. Even if you didn't want that break, there's something about that time out that's important, because in that time out, that's where the illumination occurs. That's when all of a sudden that thing you never saw a certain way, or that person you never perceived to be a certain way, you see it in a different way. You can't unsee it. So once you have that knowing, when you turn back around, unhinge yourself from the tree, you find that stability of that 4. You find how you were maybe very unstable before, but you didn't recognize what was constricting you or restraining you or toxic to your energy or holding you back. If this is a person you are connecting to, this is somebody who has seen the light. You can't unsee it, but sometimes there has to be that like adjustment of the light. If somebody was always in the dark and all of a sudden they step into the sunlight, you know, there's that little time where they're like, whoa, it's really, really bright. It could have been somebody that had to retract back into the cave to turn that inner light on to handle that bright light out there better. I see like spiritual sunglasses. I wear my sunglasses at night. I just heard that Corey Hart song. It's powerful, but it's kind of annoying, because in that hangman energy, you do have to figure out the energies that you have to let go of, because it's straining your forward movement or your progression or your expansion or your growth, or keeping you out of balance, or blocking your heart to new possibilities or partnerships, or this ever-flowing love to come into your life that creates this abundance. Somebody could, I did see this man holding back. It could have been someone that put that, you know, time out for a very long time because they're not going to take the time with somebody that they don't feel is worthy of the love they have to offer. Maybe they offered that beautiful cup of love to someone and they constantly put a hole in their beautiful goblet here, you know, or put a plug on something so it wasn't flowing, it wasn't cleansing. It was, could have even been unrequited. It could also be where somebody here is figuring out that they had to cleanse some energies in their life away first so that they come into a situation with a full cup, that they're not relying on someone else to constantly fill up their cup or bring their light or their happiness or their love into a situation to fix somebody, you know, or fill somebody up. When you come into that Ace of Cups, it's just a start, but it should be where there are two people, two flames coming in that are both willing to fill up their own cup, and also that beautiful unconditional desire to also fill up the other person. But it has to be kind of on equal measure. What's at the bottom? Oh, you have strength. So strength comes in when you need it. Strength comes in when it gives you that extra little boost that you can handle a situation. Sometimes I see the Ace of Cups as needing to pull the plug or needing to end something that was imbalanced, or recognizing that something wasn't there for your highest and greatest good. But usually it's a beautiful offer of love. Usually it's a beautiful beginning, but you gotta get past the intro and the first date, you know, the sassy little love text, and be more in an experience. Also, sometimes this is seen as overpowering, overbearing, kind of lustful, really desiring something, wanting something, and that's kind of overwhelming, love bombing, constraining, you know? Somebody has to learn to have that gentle, positive, prideful energy like the lion. The lion just knows they're powerful. They don't need to roar to prove how strong they are. There's also this Empress, this divine feminine energy that had to have this energy of trust with the lion, to stand there and just kind of hang out in the, not lion's den, but out in the field. So sometimes that trust comes through experience. Sometimes that trust comes with a gentle approach. I always see it as the honey on the wound. And sometimes it's like that scared cat kind of energy. You know, if there's a thorn in that lion's paw and this woman comes in or this man comes in and they'd really just want to help, like, kitty, I got you. I just got to get that thorn out. It's going to feel way better. There has to be that bond, that trust, where the lion is ready for that approach, for it to happen. To force it is going to just like freak out the lion, or the lion is going to kind of attack that situation. So there has to be like a gentle bonding rather than an overpowering. I hope that made sense. It could also be a Leo energy. It's 8. It's abundance. It's infinity. It's karma and dharma, something coming full circle or back around, being underneath the surface and then rising above the situation. The ever-flowing kind of energy. There's also something blossoming here. So let's get you an angel message. I do feel like with all of these together, somebody is really stepping into the position where they feel powerful in the love they have to offer. But in that powerful kind of energy, there's also that I hear guidelines, but I'm not really getting rules. I feel like it's maybe boundaries that had to be set, or big changes that had to be made. But I'm kind of getting like it's internal guidelines. But I mean, if you have somebody else, it's always good to talk about what works. You know, what's not working for you, what your boundaries are. You can't assume somebody is going to know them. So somebody could be, you know, going into that lion's cage, and maybe one of the rules is don't wake the lion up when the lion's sleeping, because coming out of dreamland, that lion's pretty cranky. But if, you know, you never had that discussion, how are they going to know? Be like, I know, I'm going to wait till your nap's over and then I'll bring you that big steak. All right, let's get, whoop, you have a couple of angel numbers at the end. All right, if they had to come out, then there is a reason for these messages. Maybe these are synchronistic messages for you. Oh, you have a lot. I'm going to read them fast. 2002, 1515, 101, and 1155. It's interesting. These are very similar. Maybe 11 or 55, 1, 2. So self-reflection, introspection, evaluation, clarity, self-awareness, energy, change, and growth. Take time. That's your hangman here. Take that time. You also have this reflection here for self-reflection. Evaluate the areas in your life that drain. That's what I was said here. Areas that drain your energy, and decide what needs to change to restore your happiness, to plug you back in. What areas of your life need more attention and reflection? And what changes can I make to improve my happiness? That's up to you. It is not anybody's job to make you happy. It's up to you to do the things that make you feel fulfilled and have that happy energy. It's like if somebody comes into the mix, or if there's somebody in your life, it's an addition. It's extra. It's not the reason that something is. It's like it brings that merging of energy, but it's like it's the cherry on top of each other's ice cream cone, but you're both coming in with an ice cream cone. Take the time today to journal or meditate in the areas of your life that feel draining, and identify just one small step you can take to bring more balance. Well, here's your balance into your life. 1515 is the big break. Oh, I like that. Innovation, focus. Well, that would be the hangman. That would be that epiphany moment. Creation, progress, forward movement, skills and goals, and opportunity, help, extra cash, or other support is coming your way. So keep going. Where's your perseverance? Just keep going. And that's what I saw, have fun performing your tasks. It doesn't matter, even if you're doing the dishes and you're like, oh, I hate doing the dishes. Put on a good song, do your dishes naked and dance in your living room. I guess you wouldn't be doing your dishes in your living room. Maybe if you live in New York and your everything is in one room. That was really weird. Maybe you need to dance in your living room and, work your way to the sink to do the dishes. Maybe you need to do it bass backwards. The most tremendous success comes from passion. True. All efforts will be rewarded big time. That's pretty good. You also have the void. Maybe somebody was avoiding you. Maybe you were avoiding that thing on the back burner. Maybe that void had a purpose. Longing, also technology, ambition, genius, forward thinking, stress, and depression. That's all over the place, man. Maybe you need to unplug yourself from technology for a little bit and go out in the yard and walk with your lion. Dive on into a situation instead of just looking at the fish tank. Go into that beautiful ocean that's behind you. And, I did see somebody here kind of on the hammock, just relaxing under a tree. You have more control over your life than you realize. Learn and execute what interests you. Same messages. Turn things around. That would be the hangman. You can't hang there forever. The blood's going to go to that person's head, and all that illumination's just going to start to teeter-totter into wonky decision after wonky decision. There are plenty of friends to make, so chill out. Have fun. Open up. Go outside. When in doubt, if you don't know what else to do, go on a walk. Connect with nature. Connect with nature. Listen to the birds. Feel the breeze on your skin, the warmth of the sun, your toes in the sand or on the ground. As it does look like with this 101, you're going to have a big redo, a big start over kind of energy. And that feels good, but that can be a little bit scary. Maybe that's why you have this strength, reminding you can do it. You can start over. It doesn't matter what your age is. It's never too late to, start a new relationship or find out who you want to be when you grow up again. You could have this transformative energy many, many, many times in your life. But if you feel that desire to transform, but you're digging your boots in the sand or sticking your head in the sand, it's like you're running away from these blessings that, you know, want to come into your life. This is intelligence, dynamics, making a difference, failures, because you learn from failures more than you learn from the successes. Personal or spiritual development. Happiness is linked to self-expression. If some of you felt like energies around you were overpowering you on how you want to really express your truth and your authenticity, you need to take back that narrative, because it's not up to anybody else to write or control or even have an opinion on what your expression is. Learning from failures is key. Happiness is real, possible, and around. If some of you are believing that you can't have a partnership that works, never happened before, you don't have any examples around you where, you know, it's really that true partnership, then you need to start with that partnership within yourself and be in that vibration yourself, and then see how it reflects and maybe brings the right person in, maybe not who you expect. If you've had repeated partnerships and they kind of didn't work out, the one that's going to come in is probably going to be the monkey wrench in the situation, probably the one that's not your usual type, probably the one you don't even understand at all. And that's good, because that's going to expand you rather than you just be in a loop-de-loop cycle of what wasn't working. But healthy, divine, deep partnerships are out there. But you have to believe that you are deserving of one. And it's that deserving energy and that self-love energy that is the first step to take you there. Where was I? Understand the process and the pursuit of it. Joy is fluid in the little things and the big ones. Fails are fun. You fall down, you giggle like a kid. You're like, you know, if you're that, let's just say a little kid falls down. They didn't really get hurt, you know, nothing really happened that was weird. But if you're that adult or that person in the situation, like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you bleeding? What's going on? You're gonna freak. It's like that scaring the lion thing. You're gonna freak out the little kid. They'll probably start to bawl, even though it didn't really hurt when they fell down. But if you're kind of calm and gentle, be like, are you okay? Okay, you know, and you change up your energy. It's like kind of like the kid's gonna start to giggle. Just get up and start running around again and playing. So there is something, and I feel like that's more of an energy maybe with yourself. Just, you know, you mess up. We all F up in life. So did you have self-reflection on how to change it? Or are you going to do it the same way? Or are you going to just harp for the rest of the day on that thing that messed up, or that person that did that, or that situation? Or are you going to switch your energy around and be like, yeah, I'm so excited to go to the library tomorrow. I don't know why I just saw a library, or read that book, or swing in my hammock, or make out with my honey in the back of the car after our sassy date. It's the little things and the big ones. Fails are fun. Just start fresh. When in doubt, you know, have that fresh little energy like the page here. Do it different. Start again. With this, I bid you adieu. I hope this reading was helpful. I love you so very much, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. I gotta go. Gotta skedaddle. Bye.